Oh my god. What is that? Yeah, oh yeah. You got that alpha. Got that alpha launch. Yeah. The Tuskar. The food looks great in Dragonflight. Just got up and walked away. What is this?
Hail and well met, champion.
Hello, Internet. Taliesin here, and welcome to another episode of the
Just make people
Weekly
nostalgic for
Reset.
Wrath, it's true.
Taliesin and Evitel's wondrous wisdom show in a week where the Dragonflight Alpha isn't just here, we are knee-deep in scaly, spiky, fire-breathing, dragon-riding, zone-exploring, dungeon-busting, evoker testing, talent tree scouring, profession decoding, data mining, 9-carat grade A alpha fun times. And with it, not only our first idea of what this expansion even is and what it's all about, but also inklings as to the answers of some pretty important questions. Like, you know, is this thing going to be ready in time for
Is it
that
going to be a good
promised
expansion?
2022 release date? Have the lessons from the largely disappointing Shadowlands, and holy shit, that's a sentence lacking any sort of nuance that I could talk about at length, but don't worry, I won't.
Alright, we're back.
To play with, as well as a regular supply of new dungeons, talent trees, and professions. Last week,
We're
in
back,
phase
saved.
1, we had the Azure
Feels like it happens
Span,
every
which is
morning at the
basically
exact same
Grizzly
time.
Hills meets
Maybe
the
8
rest
o'clock,
of
8 a.m.
Northrend, and which is almost
8:08,
certainly
really?
the single biggest zone in
8:08,
World of
we'll see
Warcraft
next time.
expansion history. We had our first look at Draktheirs and Evokers with all the new customization options and abilities and talent trees
The
that
customization's
involves.
insane.
We got very basic iterations of blacksmithing and alchemy. We got the new dragon riding system, which is incredible and game-changing, and I know
It
you
is.
don't believe me and you think I'm overreacting, but whatever. 99%
It looks
of
great.
you are going to be sheepishly crawling back to apologize on that one. Just you see if you don't. We got what I think is a pretty early iteration of the new UI layout and customization features, and through the power of absolute hacks, we were also able to run around the hub area of new capital Valdrakken. But that was last
Valdrakken
week,
looks
and
great.
this is this week, and we are already into phase 2 with the Draktheirs starting experience in the Forbidden Reach, a zone which Steve Denuza has said will be utilized for expansion content for everyone at some point beyond that starting experience. We've got blacksmithing and alchemy talent trees, which I'm going to put them up on the screen right now, and let's be honest, you know if you like what you see here already, right? A lot of us are licking
lot of people-
our lips over
honestly,
these bad
the
boys. Oh, and
the profession
2
changes are way
dungeons,
bigger than I thought they'd be.
Neltharius and the new revamped Alderman. The Shaman talent trees, which might be the most well received of the Dragonflight talent trees so far. And
Yeah,
then
how do our
phase
shamans
3,
feel
probably next week, will
about
give us
that?
opening zone, the Waking Shores. Probably another dungeon or 2, probably another couple of talent trees, maybe some more professions and UI updates, and so on. And that's only the official stuff, of course, because on
Good
top
morning,
of all
Gamer
of the things
Smoosh.
Blizz put in front of us,
I'll be back
there's
next week.
also
Sounds good,
all that
sounds good.
data mining to be done behind the scenes too. So we've got models and environments and trinkets and tier sets and weapons and stories and bits and bobs about a million other things going on too. And like I say, we're going to do a roundup of lots of smaller details in this episode. And as usual, there are links to our favorite Wowhead articles, which we think you might find helpful in the description.
We'd
of
review
this
all the
video.
Wowhead
But
articles
big
already.
picture, broad
We're good on
strokes,
that.
given what we've seen so far, what's Dragonflight like? Is it a good expansion or nah? Shall I play? Shall I not bother? I mean, I can give you an answer from what we've seen so far, and that answer is very, very good. And I know what you're thinking.
It is. It
You're
does
thinking,
look good.
okay, Taliesin, well, of course you like it, you shilly man shill, hype shill man dude. You Who would? And yeah, I think that's a fair point to bring up. Not in regards to me specifically, but to everyone who is getting a crack
We get
at alpha
overhyped,
content
yeah.
right
We get
now.
overhyped.
Because yes, it is extremely easy to enjoy the alpha for a new expansion and to have a really good time and therefore say it's really good. On some level, we all fundamentally like and enjoy World of Warcraft. Unless
Yeah.
you're one of those hate watchers that we get, in which case, hi Dad. And
What the
even
fuck
if
are you
perhaps
doing here?
haven't played or been
You're
a
a hate
fan for a
watcher.
while, yeah, obviously a whole bunch of new content to try and play about in with new features and class changes and zones, which isn't Shadowlands, is going to be enjoyable, and the
Yeah.
Hopium blimps are
Anything
going
that
to
isn't
soar
Shadowlands.
in their multitudes, which is absolutely fine, obviously, because don't forget, Hopium blimps are incredibly safe. There's basically nothing that can possibly go wrong with that much Hopium all swirling around in one place, because it's honestly no more combustible than any other highly combustible gas.
There
And
you
I
go.
completely agree that for an assessment of the alpha to be meaningful, we have to be able to look past the visceral enjoyment of new stuff and be able to cast a proper
Right, let's not forget, I mean, Warlords had a good start too, right? Warlords was great at the start. I loved questing through Warlords and everything. But, you know, an expansion is judged on its longevity in endgame.
phase 2 needed for making stuff with those new crafting professions placed around it, and slap bang in the middle of all of those,
Hold on.
the only
I
place in the
fast-forwarded.
entire game where you can place and pick up work orders,
Oh, well, it's
which
fine.
means that Crafter's Alley is going to be absolutely buzzing all of the
Crafter's
time
Alley.
with players and activity as characters place orders for themselves or their guild or
I think this is gonna be
items they're
great.
in need of, but mostly with crafters logging in to pick
Being
up
able
those
to place orders
then
and create
heading over
orders.
to their respective workstation.
It's a change to professions
fulfill
completely.
Those orders where, don't forget, the mere act of crafting will automatically change them into their profession-specific gear while they
That's cool.
craft.
That's cool.
It's going to be awesome. People are generally just going to hang out there anyway, whether
Yeah.
or not they want any orders doing. The first raid is just a short dragon swoop away from it. There's a massive bronze Dragonflight area hidden behind some rocks, which, I don't know, is that just part of the questing? Is it going to be some cool Caverns of Time thing? Or is it just the
I
most
don't know.
ludicrously over-the-top Great Vault door that they could possibly think of? Honestly, I'd be happy with any of those explanations. Perhaps the thing I like best about Valdrakken, though, is the placement of it high up in the mountains and basically bordering every other zone on the Dragon Isles.
Oh, really?
which
I
means
didn't-
that
I
a
didn't pay
lot of
attention to where it was
standard
on the
play sessions
map.
in Dragonflight are going to begin with an awesome dragon ride from the capital
Yes,
into whatever zone
that
you are
sounds
heading
great,
to.
actually.
And that's good because dragon riding is incredible. Don't know if I mentioned that. I don't need to talk about how brilliant the new dragon riding system is. We released a video
Yeah.
dedicated to it last week, but I completely understand if you watch that video and you're still basically unmoved by the idea and don't really care and think that I'm over-exaggerating its importance. And the reason I completely understand that is because it's how I felt before I tried it.
I mean, what a great thought, though. Like, you start out in the city, imagine you log in, and the first thing you do is you dive off the edge and dive bomb with your dragon into the zone that you're going to. What a cool way to log in and get your WoW day
It
started.
always looked okay to me, but didn't ever rank as a feature that I was genuinely excited for, so much as I just basically hoped Blizzard didn't dick it up and end up ruining
I wasn't
the entire
excited for it until I saw people
expansion.
play it
And
in
if
alpha.
I had watched like a Belilar video insisting that it was brilliant in the same way that our video did, yeah, I would probably have taken it with a pinch of salt. So I do understand, and frankly, my job isn't to convince you of anything, so instead, I'm just going to make a prediction. If the dragon riding system doesn't undergo any major changes or downgrades from what it is in the alpha right now, then in the days after Dragonflight releases, WoW Twitter and forums and other social media is going to be wall to wall people just creaming about how they love dragon riding. You know how like
Yeah.
after Legion released and every
Creaming.
tweet from everyone you saw was just a screening of their character brandishing their artifact weapon triumphantly? It's gonna be that, but just, oh my god, dragon riding is amazing. Taliesin was right. This is so shocking.
okay,
Because
yeah.
I think for many people, like with me, it's not going to be until you actually get hold of this new transport system that you appreciate.
Yeah, I'm
A,
excited
how
to
really
try
cool
it.
and fast it is to control, but more importantly, B, how it changes the basic fundamental minute-to-minute gameplay of WoW for the better. And there comes a moment when you're questing and you suddenly realize, oh man, this actually makes the game more fun in ways I never even thought
I'm excited
of.
for
and
that.
It's weird because it
It's
means
cool.
Dragonflight currently has these two different vibes going on. The back to the old school familiar Tuskar, big trees, big zones, cozy welcome home expansion, but
Yeah.
also the wow, this feels modern and new in kind of a massive way expansion too. That modernity helped by
a good combo.
5, the Drakthir. The customization options for Drakthir are obviously off the chart, and even though I think the general community opinion is still that, you know, we'd like at least the option to look a bit more like the Drakthir she tells you not to worry about, it does seem that the more people actually get
You need a
into
wider
the
jaw.
alpha, the more people are a bit more won over.
The
by
Drakthir
general
head
look
just
of
seems
them.
small
But as a
compared to the body,
class,
to me.
Evoker feels incredibly modern, with its outstanding mobility for you and your party, charged abilities and skill shots, very bursty damage, and general, like, the word I tend to use is muscularity when you're playing it. Like, it just
Muscularity,
feels
but they're such a
in
skinny
terms of how you
class.
press the buttons and stuff. I don't know. I've had a
Okay,
good chance now
okay.
to test out both the DPS and healing specs, and I really enjoy how front-loaded it is, weaving between short cooldowns and essence spenders with very little ramp up. But I have to say, you notice the 25-yard range on Evoker abilities compared to the standard caster 40 yards. It's short.
Oh, I'm sure.
There was one particular
It's an
boss
in-between
in the updated
range.
Uldaman
It's an
where
odd
it was
one.
actually a real problem, and in raids you feel like the heavy positional dependency of this class might just make it incredibly challenging.
It's probably gonna be
especially
hard to
when
play.
it comes to healing.
And
Maybe
raiding.
one reason why Evoker's group utility
The next raid
appears
tier,
so
17 Evokers.
massively OP right now. So I can't say
Remember
how
the all
sure
Death
I am
Knight
yet
parties
about
that
the
used to
big picture
exist?
viability or
I'm sure they'll
usefulness
be
of this
OP to
spec, but
start.
I can confirm it's very fun to press buttons, which is a good start at least. Like, even if you're not going to main it, pretty much everyone is going to enjoy picking it up and running through the starting
Oh yeah,
zone.
I'm gonna make
When I
one
say
just to at
running
least see
through
what
the
it looks
starting
like.
zone, I mean soaring through the starting zone like an absolute boss.
A great
The
racial.
thing I didn't love the Neltharis dungeon, which was fun enough in terms of enemies and layout, but just
We
seemed
just
a bit
reviewed that
dark
dungeon.
and one note visually. It's only available in normal right now, so I couldn't really tell you if the bosses are interesting or not, but the final encounter sees you rummaging through Neltharian's treasure hoard for specific items to bust the boss's shield. Like I say, it's normal, so it lasted literally seconds and it's hard to tell, but I think that interesting sounding thing I just described is what happens, I think. Uldaman, though, is a whole other story. A new, shiny version of the classic dungeon with new bosses.
I like
that
going
makes
back
it
to these
just
Titan
different
facilities.
enough to feel new. It's got one massively overtuned boss,
Nice.
which is the most fun I had testing these dungeons. It's Uldaman. It's an absolute winner. Obviously, people are going to really enjoy it when it goes live for pre-patch, and maybe they'll enjoy those tiny winding corridors in Mythic Plus too. Who knows? We'll have to see. Another concern: talent trees. Now, this is a weird one because it's a concern I have despite the evidence.
Talent
really.
trees will
Because
be
talent
the
trees we've
thing
seen so
I'm
far,
sure that needs the most work going in from alpha to beta and beta to live. Because talent trees are completely, you know, they're flexible. They're going to be reworked 100 times
have
over.
generally been
And I'm sure they're
really
listening to
good
feedback
and
about
well
it.
received. Shaman wasn't an absolute shit show, which frankly I am amazed by. I had money on that. There's always Monk though. You won't let me down, Monk, will you? Hunter is probably the only one that people really have an issue with, which is frankly a relief. And as a system, it has been really fun.
Evokers
to play
might
with
just
in
have
the
to be in
alpha.
melee,
I
but they wear
still
leather.
just
That's the
can't
problem. Like,
help but worry that there will be a couple of trees.
they can be in melee as long as they have like a lot of dodge or parry abilities or something, but they're really made to be a mid-range class. They're not meant to be inside of melee.
People absolutely hate, and which completely take over the entire conversation.
Class balance
Just
and talent
make
changes
everyone
are content.
angry. And
Also
I will
high.
be
What's
relaxed on
up,
that
Diaz?
fear until they're
You are
all
right.
testable and everyone is at least reasonably happy with them. Likewise, professions, something I am
So
still
do Feral
worried
and Demon Hunter. Yes, I agree, but they have, you know, dodge and parry capabilities that allow them to kind of avoid damage. You can't just take a mage and sit in melee. You'll die. The first mechanic that hits the ground is going to kill you. So it depends on how their health and dodge mechanics and parry mechanics work, whether or not they can sit in melee or not. Because from what I've seen, they're not meant to be in melee range.
about despite the evidence, which is showing us deep,
I'd like to see a
complex,
flavor of the
but
week
largely
chaos
interesting and satisfying
from
systems,
mid-TBC
kind
back. Oh,
of
that'd be
in
cool.
line with exactly what we'd hoped for. Multiple talent trees specializing in different areas of craft, and I don't know if I mentioned it, baller profession gear to boot. Feedback on these systems has been really positive, with
Yeah, the
so
professions
far,
are
no real
a nice
red
surprise that I wasn't
flags.
expecting.
I don't know, I just will always suspect
I might
that
actually do
professions
professions
in WoW will never really
for once.
be what people want them to be. They'll never have the depth and rarity and endless grind and craft potential that people want while they are connected primarily to player power items. I just can't help feel that for professions to really be as deep and specialized and in constant demand as we all want, player housing kind of needs to be a thing. But that's a whole other conversation. So far, blacksmithing in particular does look genuinely cool. And like I say, I think work order system based in Valdrakken is going to be a really great social experience.
That's going to be cool.
Something else I'm really happy about. 6. Blizzard's communication so far in this alpha. We've already seen a complete roadmap for alpha release schedules with selective, focused testing in different areas. But more than that, alongside the
just right out of melee before range is a nice sweet spot. That's where they're supposed to sit. Directly are the first mid-range class,
really good
basically,
these
in the
last
game.
couple of weeks, working the circuit and saying some very important things.
Give me my
especially in terms of design philosophy, like how account-wide things like dragon riding unlocks will be, and the supposed focus on a more regular content release schedule. All very good to hear. The man deserves to sit high and proud in his webcam as he does so. I'm a parent. I think we've got a spare booster seat around here somewhere. We are willing to send it over, is all I'm saying. Just let me know your address, Ian. But as well as those interviews, there's also been some really illuminating blog
I came here for my request. I have demands.
Stuff and class feedback. It has been really heartening and good to see. So yeah, I am currently very happy with the state of Dragonflight Alpha and what we've seen so far. And obviously, we haven't seen any end-game, day-to-day world gameplay yet.
Which is really going to be what the expansion is judged on.
Warfront or Covenant-shaped red flags. And there are genuine game-changing elements to this expansion which just, I don't know, they seem to have a lot of love in them. There's a real sense of care in the content that we've seen so far. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, I think we've just about got time for a roundup of some cool other alpha stuff that's cropped up this week. Like
we've checked out all the tier sets.
Where everyone basically looks like a Gundam, but like a rock Gundam. That's cool. We've got a video looking at those on our second channel, Taliesin and Evitel TV.
I still think maybe these were like normal. There's no way these were mythic versions.
Using unique designs for the first time in a few expansions, which in itself is pretty cool. There's some new dialogue that has been added to Stormwind after completing the intro quests that will eventually lead you to the Waking Shores, where Greymane and Shaw discuss the several years that have passed, returned from the Shadowlands, which, does that mean we've had a time skip? It replaces some different dialogue from the first alpha build.
I don't typically review this stuff on stream because I don't like to get too spoilery, but it is interesting. It is. I haven't looked at it yet, but it does sound interesting based on what he's saying.
Maybe for new players going through Dragonflight content as they level for the first time.
I like how the Pally community bitched about the helm and Blizzard instantly changed it. Exactly. That's the difference. Love butter.
Or
they are listening.
It could be a time skip of several years, which you'd imagine must be for a pretty important reason that at the moment only Alliance players will know has even happened, since there's no Horde equivalent dialogue to tell the majority of players of this game about the several year time skip, which I love. Keep it that way, please. One thing for sure, whether it makes it into the live game or not, the community has read about it now, so loads of people are going to consider it canon even if we never see it in live. Get ready for some vicious arguments online. Can't wait. There's the promise of a return for a group loot option for organized raid groups only in Dragonflight, which is going to be extremely popular, and the new gender options for character creation, which at the moment mean the two body types for each race have been renamed Type 1 and 2. A meaningless and even quite weird change in isolation. But we've been told that this will go live alongside other options to also choose your voice and gender, as in how other characters refer to you separately. A pretty standard thing.
Give me other content, please. I'm fine with male and female.
So,
Thank you.
Fine, yeah. You can call it virtue signaling or woke if you want, but bear in mind that means you have have to call Elden Ring woke too. And you got to ask yourself, is Elden
the
Ring
hell
is
is
woke
that?
virtue
What do you mean, a
signaling
Shrek?
really the hill that you want to die on? We did have some hilarious shit show comments for this bit, but honestly,
I
I
don't
think we all
care, I
deserve
don't
a
care.
break from the shit show this week. For most people, this
Give
is
me
just
a
more
helicopter
options that
body
they might
type.
never
Oh
even
god,
use,
Nick
but
Leo.
for many people,
Lick.
it will be really meaningful. So I'm completely behind
Hey,
it.
it is what it is. Whatever. If people are happy with it, it's fine. I care about the game. I just want the game to be good.
Anyway, if nothing else, it now allows you
Happy
to
or
create
sad
a
doesn't bother
female
me,
dwarf
whatever, just
who everyone refers to as a
give
she,
me good
and with a
content.
female dwarf voice who has a massive off beard, and that, my friends, should be reason enough to celebrate, frankly.
A female dwarf with a beard?
Alpha,
Is that what he said?
Dragon Isles, it's here, it's all scaly, and it's all sunny, and it's all huge and hilly, and, right, yeah.
The dragons.
All of it, everything is. So we're having a bit of a wild time at the moment, because as well as sort of Dragonflight Alpha launching and updating many times, as well as the secret alpha that we got, so we could make some videos before it even came out, and having to somehow keep quiet about that. My god, I had to like,
Oh, you don't even know what we had to do to keep him quiet.
I had to stay off of like just social media, the internet.
I had to change our password.
Basically,
delete every
it
app.
was so hard because like I unplugged my computer so it wasn't connected to the internet, so I couldn't tell anyone. But then I realized I couldn't play Dragonflight Secret Alpha without being on the internet. It was so difficult. My life has basically been so hard. But also, we got a wedding this weekend, which means this video isn't quite as sort of polished, perhaps maybe
Yeah,
as I'd like to
sorry.
be. And of course,
A
we're
wedding.
in the middle of a move. Like there will be other weekly resets before we move, but we're basically in the process now. So like gradually, you're gonna see stuff just disappear from the back wall, and like maybe scaffold and
Yeah,
stuff.
boxes and things
What?
will appear while other things disappear. We have like variable childcare over the coming weeks as well. So there will be babies, children.
No one wants to hear about our babies and
Right.
our childcare situation.
No,
Ellie.
sorry.
No one cares. But what it does mean is like we will have a new place, obviously with like a whole new set and all kinds.
They
of
live
things.
in
It's gonna be
England.
absolutely incredible. Can't
No,
wait.
they're moving like from one city to another in
Yes,
England.
you're
I think I
here
remember
now.
him
Yeah,
saying
we wanna
that
hear what
on
you
a stream.
think. Have you got Alpha for a start, or are you
Excuse
not
me.
important enough?
Excuse me.
Well, I don't know. Look,
The day after, I should have gotten it because I forgot to fill in the form. Thanks, Blaze.
there was
I
a
did.
little moment back there.
Like,
I never
where
filled
are
out the
my
form
two
either. I
alphas?
probably would have
Yeah,
gotten it.
Where are my multiple
Just saying.
alphas? Anyway,
Don't I
it's
wish.
so good. I mean, I blew like hours just sitting in character creation, as you know.
I'm probably gonna do the same.
Basically your
First thing I'm gonna
criteria
do is try to
like,
make
how
a
good is
drag there.
The quality of a game is directly proportional to how long I spend in character creator.
I mean, there's some truth to that.
Do you know what? It didn't sound so stupid when I said it out loud.
No, when
like
you-
in
when
my
you
head
put
it
it
was
that
like
way.
a joke, right? And then I actually said it, and I was like, oh, hang on, yeah, obviously.
But beyond that, I have had a chance to dip kind of in and out actual gameplay, and it feels really fun.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you've said it already, but I think Dragonflight, it's easy to be excited about it.
Yeah,
Come on,
it's easy to be
dragons.
excited
Like-
about any
You'd think so,
expansion.
but every time I say it's easy
Doesn't mean
to
it's gonna be
excited
good,
about, and
but I
Dragonflight's
do
really,
think
really
this
good.
one's gonna be
Loads
good.
of people online, whether I'm streaming or on like Twitch, Twitter or whatever, who haven't played the game are like, no, Taliesin, I think you find it's incredibly boring.
I'm kind of with you in that when things started being announced for the expansion, there was like a little flame, like a little flicker, and I think I was a little bit hesitant to get too excited, as a lot of people were.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Some people are feeling cautious,
we all?
which is completely understandable. After Shadowlands, after a lot of stuff, right? And I think it's normal to be a little bit more skeptical. But since the alpha has been released, since kind of more features have been coming out, we've been getting to play with them a little bit. It's like that little flame is just growing a little more. I think because I'm letting myself be more excited. And yeah, I logged into the character creation screen, and then it kind of like,
Yeah.
ignited.
They did say that, by the way, all these
She, though,
Dragtheer
she did,
customizations,
I spontaneously combusted. Well, I'm gonna
it
struggle
puts
with
the
only
ability
being
in the
able to
game
have
for them to
one.
eventually add these to other
On each round.
Yeah.
other
That's
races
gonna
in the
be
game.
hard for me.
So that's cool.
Or I'm gonna spend a lot of time at the barber.
She's not lying, because like literally when I was like, her computer broke for a bit and I had to fix the computer, and I was testing it, and I went on your WoW account to kind of like just test it, and I've never really noticed before, but your WoW account is like a hunter, a priest, a mage, a priest, a mage,
yeah.
a priest, a mage, and a hunter.
I have a type, okay? I have a type. We all have a
Various
type.
different levels.
Mine's
Some
like
people
my
some of
my
them are
Death
more
Knight, and then everything else just falls off from there.
We all play this game differently. Yeah, I definitely have a type. I mean, it's going to be hard leaving my hunter behind for a little bit.
You say that like you're gonna make Evoker your main.
100%.
Wow,
If
that's.
there's room for me on the raid
I'm
team.
not. I will
How
play
many
Death
evokers
Knight
are we
forever.
gonna-
I think
how
we have
many
a real
evokers are
lack
we
of
gonna-
evokers on the raid team, so you might be doing a good call there. Yeah, I mean, who's going to want to play the new
No
literal
one.
dragon flying class, right? No one. I hope evoker is completely OP. I love it when a new class is OP.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things that people like.
That's-
worry
it's
about.
gonna
Like,
happen
I hope it's
always.
hope it's not overpowered. I hope it's not.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
overpowered.
get people playing. I
It's
don't
a
care.
hero class.
Make it over.
It should be
Yeah,
a little heroic,
make it
right?
overpowered for a bit.
little
I don't
over the top.
Yeah.
mind.
I'm telling you guys, Death Knights.
Get it
Oh man, when Death
eventually.
Knights
Get,
came out,
like,
they were so
20
OP.
evokers in the race to world first, so be it. You know, live with it. I don't mind. Who cares?
I'm sorry, I just love the whole idea of like dungeons and raids of like dragons fighting dragons.
It has been really
Dragon on dragon
it
crimes.
It feels good. And even just
That's what's
watching
gonna
you do some
happen.
of the dungeons before, I was like, yes.
So you okay with the evoker look then, overall? Now that
Yeah.
you've sort of been in there?
I'm into it. I mean, when you see a whole like dungeon group made of dragon folk, like they do look a little bit samey.
Dragon folk.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, everyone has the same shape and silhouette now. So I wish that they were almost like two quite like drastically different kind of silhouettes, at least for them, for Drakthir. I'm looking forward to trying out the talent trees and actually putting some thought into them, because
They gotta add beefy boy
I
Drakthir. They
am
have to.
quite happy to go ahead and like look up a WoW header and Icy Veins guide and be like, okay, I'm gonna min-max this and here we go. And that's just so I can focus on other things in gameplay. But I do want to tinker a bit with the talent trees and give them a little bit more thought and experimentation, because it does feel like right now it has some potential to be a fun system.
Yeah.
with some pretty cool variations. Marksman looks okay, I think.
Have you had a chance to wander around any of these zones yet, or have you seen them?
Just the Azure span.
Sure.
Just little bits of it. And obviously I've had a peek into some of your streams as you've been like hopping around.
Azure span looks
doing
cool.
the world tour. I had to have a sneaky look. I
Yeah.
mean, they look good. They're going for a thing, right? Which is like, this is familiar. This
Yeah.
makes you think of dragons.
Northrend.
And
Dragons,
we've done
exactly.
before. You know, kind of like comforting. Wow.
There's something so comforting about it.
Yeah.
Like genuinely. And
Yeah.
and who would have thought that you could find such comfort in what is basically a throwback to Kata, you know? Like, I feel like BFA was a real throwback to, you know, like the RTS games, really.
Bro.
It was constantly referenced.
Maybe
in
unpopular
Warcraft 1, 2, and 3,
comment,
you know,
but
and
BFA was not a
put stuff
bad
together like
expansion.
that. I feel like Shadowlands did try and throw
Azurite
back to
armor
Wrath
was
a lot,
fucked in
but
the
I'm not sure
beginning,
how successful that
but
was
BFA
really
overall,
in the
I
end.
miss it. Not gonna lie.
And yeah, no, I like
Not gonna lie.
Dragonflight
Was not a bad
definitely
expansion.
has a real kind of cataclysm and mists feel as well. You know, I always think like the kind of the classic age of WoW is vanilla, BC and Wrath, and then you've got kind of like the middle age of WoW, which is like Kata, Mists, and WoD, which kind of straddles the middle age and the new
WoD
age, the
straddling.
modern age of WoW. And the modern age of WoW is definitely like Legion, BFA,
Legion for
Shadowlands,
sure started
in
the modern
terms
age of
how
WoW.
the game is
They added
built and
Mythic
what it
Plus,
feels
power
like,
progression
what it's kind
system.
of aiming to do. And
Definitely,
this does
I
feel
agree with that
genuinely
statement.
like a new age. You know, or you know, it's the start.
BFA
of a
was
whole
good
new
after
bunch
fixes
of
at the
stuff.
end.
You know, you can really
BFA
kind of
without flying was a
comfortably
struggle, yes, I'm
group
sure.
those
I
expansions
kind of agree with
together,
that.
and
Especially
then,
if you were Horde.
You can
I feel
see
that.
why they're in
I
groups,
feel
and
that.
this
Because
feels like a
Dazara
new
lore
group.
was a
It
bitch
does.
to get
And
around.
that's kind of awesome. I mean, it could be fucking, it could be terrible.
It could, but it does feel in a lot of ways in style and content and kind of in aims like a bit of a reset
Yeah.
after Shadowlands, which
Yep.
people have wanted.
Yeah.
People are like, let's just
Like
start again in some ways.
Shadowlands felt like it was kind of resetting a lot of the kind of the systems of the modern age of WoW, but within the context of those systems.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Dragonflight seems like it's kind of just it's moving on. It's
Feeling
moving on to a
about
completely
old
different
mounts
thing.
/ drakes
And
not getting dragon riding.
So far, it's easy, right?
I guess we'll see how dragon riding is, but my feelings about the old mounts and drakes not getting dragon riding, I hope they change that. Because I'm sure once you do, like I haven't done it myself, But based on what everyone's saying, once you do Dragon Ride, I'm sure old flying is gonna feel stupid as hell. And then there's not the excuse that, oh, Azeroth wasn't built for dragon riding, but the Dragon Isles are, because the Drakthir can dragon ride anywhere. The Drakthir can dragon ride all over any continent where flying is allowed. The Drakthir can dragon ride in it because of their racial ability. So, I mean, it's already there. The mechanics are available in game. I don't know the complicated mess behind what dragon riding would look like. And then the thing is, too, you got mounts that don't look like dragons, right? Like, how would you create an animation for a dive bomb for this mount or a twist? Like, how would this mount dragon ride? There is some complications involved with that. I'm not going to act like it's just an easy fix if they want to add dragon riding to all flying mounts. Maybe just all dragon mounts can dragon ride. Maybe that'll be a restriction. But I do hope that they eventually revisit that and open up dragon riding to everyone everywhere.
Alpha to be excited, right? But like so far, it feels awesome and feels modern and fresh and comfortable. And God, that's all I want, man. That's all I want from like. It's simple. I'm a simple man, right? I want WoW, but good. What color dragon?
Yeah, we all want good WoW.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've made one that was kind of like a really dark, kind of black, bluish, greenish.
No, I mean to ride.
Oh.
'Cause, like you made your infinite dragon.
Yeah.
Which is like very dark with contrasty bright, kind of whitey blue.
For my riding dragon.
Yeah.
Oh God. It's going to depend on my character, and it's going to depend on what my character looks like. It's going to depend on what color my visage's eyes are, and then that is going to determine the color of my dragon.
I'm excited to
form,
customize my
and
dragon
then it's
mount
gonna
for sure.
determine what color dragon I ride.
That was more thought than I was expecting. Put into that, honestly.
There is a system.
I look forward to because we've got plans for the new set, right?
we do.
And the new house, and patrons, like it's the good time for patrons right
yeah.
now, right? Is when we're moving house, and we'll have lots of videos kind of saying goodbye to the old space and moving into the new space.
Yeah, I told you guys they were
it's
moving.
video
They're staying in
rama
England, but they're
for the
moving
patrons
somewhere.
when we're like setting up a new office and
I
stuff.
think Swansea or
I
something.
love that. So we got big plans for the new set and kind of like a almost like podcasty setup really there for doing this bit and the sofa bit and things like that and other content besides. But we are going to be kind of up.
Love
in the
your
air for
comment.
this,
Yeah, having dragon riding with infinite time weaver,
and regular updates
the time walking dragon would be so cool. Oh yeah, totally.
Just for the next couple of weeks, they might not quite be.
There's
as
a lot of
polished
badass
as
dragon
we
mounts that would look very
They're
cool
never
for
as
dragon
polished
riding.
as we'd like, but even less so.
And we're not going to be polished either. I'm going to be like, just haven't showered in a month.
Trying to think of a rude joke to make there. There are polished. You're always polished off. Right?
It's true.
I mean, thank you for being here. If you like this video, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real-life money, like every month still, to make all of our work happen. And it wouldn't without you. Thank you. There'd be a whole lot less Taliesin and Evitel. And if you didn't like this video, downvote the shit out of it.
Yeah, I won't do that. I liked it. I liked it.
Preach Gaming.